For today's project, I got a John Deere Lt160 automatic. It's a tractor I got going a while ago on the channel. The motor seemed to be locked up, but it wasn't. Look for Lt160 in the playlists and you'll see something there. And basically what it's doing is it is overflooding gas. The carburetor is overfeeding gas, so if I run at full speed, usually it'll keep up. It'll use it fast enough, use the fuel the carburetor is feeding fast enough, but as soon as you go on low speed engine or idle, it just overfuels and chokes out. So easy fix, short video, show you how to do just the carburetor if that's what you're interested in on a Lt160 automatic. Doesn't have to be an Lt160 automatic, it could be any Kohler CV460s. The spec number on the John Deere happens to be PS26516, and that only matters if for purposes of mufflers and everything else, but basically most of these are going to be similar. This one does have the fuel solenoid. That one, yeah, that carburetor does look new, but it failed. It doesn't work. The needle obviously is not shutting off. There could be just something in there. It's so easy to change. I'm not even going to get my hands dirty messing around with anything other than just replacing it. So I'll take you along. It'll be a short video, but it might help somebody out. On mine, I'm going to start with just getting this off here. This exposes your air cleaner. There's a little rubber gasket here. That just helps funnel the air in there. Yeah, I definitely put a new carb and new everything on this. Doesn't have a lot of hours, I hate to admit, but that carburetor just won't seal it off. I don't think the pump is anything wrong with the pump, that it's giving too much pressure. I just think the needle either has a little piece of garbage on it or it's just made bad. And I don't feel like fiddling with it, so we'll just change it to a different one. Alright, so let's get, while we still got it mounted, let's get the fuel line pulled off. Pull these wires out of the way. This I'm going to pull out. I'll show you what I got here. Pulled that out. Positive crankcase ventilation. It's got a tube there. It just literally pushes back in, so easier than taking the clamp off on the near side. And there's the carburetor. Couldn't be easier. We just got to get those two linkages off of there and slide it off the studs. It's literally that easy. Alright, let's look at this. Let's check our carburetors. Helps if I turn it the right way. Basically, I'm just looking. Fuel ports in the right place. Everything looks right. The only thing I got to swap over is it came with a large hole here, and there is a bushing in here. So we'll have to take some pliers. You just kind of smush them in a little bit and push up, mostly pushing up, because we don't want to crack them. And there's our prize. That's what we need. Take this one, There we go. I'm going to reuse that gasket. You're never supposed to reuse that gaskets. The new one came with them. Got all that. But I'm going to reuse that one because I kind of like the looks of it better than the ones that this new one came with. Their looks, they seem rather cheesy. Gonna reuse that one too because I'm feeling lucky today. Does this fit that way? Does it fit this way? I guess I should have checked that while it was right out in my hand. Have I got you in the shot there? Yep. It comes that way. There she is. And what that is a solenoid. It shuts the fuel off. It pulls out of the way when you want to run it, but it shuts the fuel off to prevent backfiring. They call it an anti-backfire valve. If they become problematic, most people go up in there and there's a little rubber, there's a metal plunger that's got a rubber tip. If it becomes where it won't move out of the way or it's sticky, a lot of people just unscrew it, take the rubber tip off, and run it without it. It's not necessary for it to run, but that's the way the factory designed it, so it won't backfire on you. Alright, oops, getting ahead of myself. Let's get that fuel line put back on before we can't reach anything. Put the clamp on while we're remembering. We have the clamp off. This goes into the valve cover. Once I get it all the way in there. This one's homeowner friendly, DIY friendly, I'd say. Most people, you need absolutely no special tools. Certainly don't need a power ratchet for that, but just happen to have one, so hey, let's use it, right? Can't see what I'm doing, can you? And when you go to start it now, it'll take a minute of cranking to get the fuel to fill up the whole bowl enough that it'll pick up the fuel. So don't be surprised if you're going to take a few cranks to get yours started, because right now that whole bowl is empty and it would normally be full. Well, every time you shut it off, it just stays full. Alright, that's the whole job, folks. I'm going to start it in real time so you get an idea how much cranking might be necessary. Okay, so Mine happened to start very quickly. Reason being is it had already flooded out that engine, and it had fuel still sitting probably in the intake from last time. So that one happened to get pretty lucky. Okay, so it did start well. I had fuel already in the intake, so mine popped off right away. But sharp-eared viewers will hear that it was definitely still overfueling. And I says, what in the world is going on? Well, this is your choke. It was stuck the way I had fished it. It was stuck on something. So now that I got that going, it'll work as designed. I'll give you a quick idle shot here. Let me get it started. There we go, idling and not choking out, not stumbling. The only other thing that it didn't include on the video is how to make it idle at the right speed. Right now, for example, I could kill that engine by going down low, and it really should stay on because that's supposed to be the turtle setting on mine. And the way you would adjust that is a screw on the front of the carburetor. I'm going to try to get you in there. Now, after having run this, I realized I had forgotten to set the idle. On this one, when I went all the way down, it's not really supposed to shut off. It's supposed to just go on idle, and it didn't idle. And I said, well, I forgot. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. What there is, around the front here where my finger's pointing, there's a little screw. And all we got to do is screw it in to increase speed, and screw it out to decrease speed. I'll show you how that's done. Alright, I got you tuned in there. So I'm going to be going around and turning the screw right there as it's running up and down until I get to the desired speed. In is increased speed. So I'm just going to increase it a little bit before I even try because I know we're too low. Alright, so you just want it so it doesn't stumble when you go back down. And it comes down nice and smooth, and now it won't kill unless I want it to kill. And that's how we made that tractor Wildwood certified. Thanks for watching.